Hi and welcome to another gaming video, and today's video is probably going to be a bit of a quick one. And I'm out and about doing a walkie-talkie video, and I saw a comment on a YouTube video that said that handheld games consoles aren't real games consoles. And you know what? I read a lot of YouTube comments, but that really annoyed me. Why are they not real consoles? Just because they're in handheld form. It still plays games. Admittedly, prior to say something like the PlayStation Vita, then they were slightly underpowered. Possibly the PSP, because that was almost PS2 level. But it's not about power, it's about what games you can play. And you've got things like the original Game Boy. Yes, terrible console to play on. Even back then it was terrible. But it had such a huge amount of games, and it's one of the biggest selling games consoles are going. But you fast forward to something like the PSP, the PlayStation Vita, the Switch, which is essentially a portable console, especially if you've got a Switch Lite, and they're not underpowered. You've got all the controls you need there in front of you. Okay, you are restricted to sort of smaller screen sizes. Something like the Vita has got a 5-inch screen. I think the Switch Lite is 5.5. But it doesn't detract from the fact that it's a games console, or it doesn't really hinder the experience. In some ways, playing Switch games on a smaller screen, it gives it a better experience, because I think ideally the Switch is meant for sort of more portable gameplay. Whacking it on a TV, it's a slightly underpowered device anyway, so whacking it on a TV, it can make it not look as good, especially if you're playing a game that's available on, I don't know, like an Xbox One or a PS4. You do notice the difference in playing a Switch game versus a PS4 game. But when you shrink that down and you put it into like a 5.5-inch screen on a Switch Lite, or the 6.2-inch screen on a Switch, or even the 7-inch screen on an OLED, then it really isn't a problem. Now, I took great offence at that comment, because I am a big fan of portable games consoles. It's not that I don't like home consoles. I've got plenty, my kids have got plenty. I do play on them from time to time, but I do prefer handheld. Especially, like I said, with things like the PSP and the PS Vita and the Switch, you really do get more of a home console experience. So I get it with things like the Game Boy Advance, all of those. Yeah, you got cut down versions. You didn't get ports from home consoles or AAA titles. You got more of cut down versions, or completely different games altogether. But these days, portable gaming, it can pretty much keep up with what is going on in the home market. So I don't really know where this video is going, but it's just a comment that really irked me. Handheld consoles are not real games consoles. In some ways, they are more of a games console than a home console, because you can take them anywhere. You've got that portability. You can play your games wherever you are, whether you're at home or someone else's, or in the park, whatever. Whereas a home console, well, it's at home, stuck to your TV. So someone please answer, what exactly makes a games console a games console? Just because it's plugged into a TV, just because you're viewing it on a 32-inch telly, or it's in Super HD, who really cares? It's what you play on it that makes the difference. It's the games you play, and it's how you play them, not what size screen is it on, or whether you've got an extra controller. Because I love the whole compact portability. Everything's there. You've got a screen in the middle of controls. Doesn't matter what system you're playing. That is the general principle of a handheld console. You've got a screen flanked by controls. And for me, handheld gaming is the best. So to see a comment that says handheld games consoles aren't real consoles, it is just an absolute insult. So let me know what you think. I mean, what do you think about the fact that, well, if you can play it in your hand, then, well, it's not a real games console? I think that's just an absolute ludicrous thing to say. You can play games on it, you can play them anywhere, and the quality of the games, especially these days, is absolutely fantastic. So let me know what you think. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.